Most people think the rich are working harder than them, waking up at 4 a.m., juggling multiple businesses, living in a constant state of hustle. But that's not how they do it. In fact, many of the wealthiest people on the planet earn exponentially more while working fewer hours. How is that possible? Because the rich don't trade time for money, they trade strategy for freedom. They use something most people ignore, leverage. But before we get there, let's back up. Think about what you were taught growing up. Go to school, get good grades, get a job, work hard, climb the ladder, retire. That's the script most people follow. For a long time, it seemed to work, but not anymore. Today, working harder doesn't guarantee wealth. It doesn't even guarantee security. There are people working 2 jobs, grinding 60-hour weeks, and still barely making ends meet. Meanwhile, others have built systems that print money, not because they work harder, but because they understand the rules of leverage. So what is leverage exactly? Leverage is the ability to multiply your output without multiplying your effort. It's how a single person can impact thousands or millions without being physically present. There are 4 main types: capital, people, code, and content. The rich use capital, money that works for them. They invest in assets, real estate, stocks, businesses. While others spend, they acquire. While others earn and consume, they earn and reinvest. They use people, hiring others to do what they no longer need to. While most people see delegation as an expense, the wealthy see it as multiplication. Every employee, freelancer, or partner is a node in the system, a system that allows them to step back and still grow. They use code, software, automation, tools that execute processes without human labor. A business that once took 10 people can now run on a laptop. And they use content, digital assets that reach people globally. A single YouTube video, a book, a course, a tweet, these scale infinitely. Let's make this real. Imagine 2 people with the same skill. One works hourly, billing clients directly. The other turns that skill into a course, automates the sales process, and lets content do the marketing. The first person earns linearly. The second earns exponentially. That's leverage. And here's the deeper truth. Leverage is a mindset before it's a method. Most people don't even look for leverage. They don't ask, how can I do this once and let it run forever? They ask, how can I work more to earn more? That question leads to burnout, not freedom. The rich don't ask how to work harder. They ask how to remove themselves from the equation, how to create systems that function without them, how to separate their income from their presence. This doesn't mean they're lazy. It means they understand the game. The employee mindset says, I get paid for showing up. The owner mindset says, I get paid whether I show up or not. And that difference changes everything. Because when your income is tied to your time, you're trapped. There's a ceiling. Only so many hours in a day. But when your income is tied to systems, there is no ceiling, only scale. Here's what most people get wrong. They think this kind of wealth is out of reach, that it's only for tech geniuses or trust fund kids. But the tools for leverage have never been more accessible. You don't need millions to start. You need a shift in thinking. Start asking better questions. How can I productize what I know? How can I use tools to do what I normally do manually? How can I build once and earn forever? This shift doesn't happen all at once, but the moment you start building leverage into your life, your results change fast. Let's go deeper. One of the most common mistakes people make is confusing busyness with progress. Just because you're exhausted doesn't mean you're building wealth. Just because you're working nonstop doesn't mean you're growing. In fact, constant effort without leverage is the fastest route to burnout. Now let's flip it. Imagine a life where your time is yours, where income flows while you sleep, where effort is focused, not frantic. That's not a dream. That's leverage in action. This is how the rich get richer, not because they hustle more, but because they set up systems that keep working long after they stop. This applies at every level. Whether you're freelancing, building a business, investing, or just getting started. The question is always, how can I do this once and benefit from it many times? That's how books are written once but sold forever. That's how code is written once but serves millions. That's how videos are filmed once but generate income for years. Every time you build something that works without you, you win. So what's stopping people from doing this? One word: identity. Most people identify with being hard workers. They get their self-worth from effort. They were raised to believe that ease is lazy, that automation is cheating, that freedom must be earned through sacrifice. But that belief is outdated, and it's costing you. The truth is, wealth flows to those who build systems. Systems of trust, systems of value, systems at scale. And the moment you start thinking in systems, everything shifts. Here's the challenge. Start with one small change. Don't try to overhaul your life in a day. Just ask, what's one thing I do repeatedly that I could automate, delegate, or digitize? Start there. Then repeat. Layer by layer, you'll build a life where you are no longer the bottleneck, where income is no longer chained to effort. Because freedom isn't found in more hours. It's found in better leverage. And the faster you understand that, the faster everything changes. Subscribe for more strategies the wealthy use to multiply income without multiplying hours. This is how the new rich are being built. Here's something you won't hear in most financial advice videos. The real enemy of wealth isn't laziness. It's misdirected energy. Millions of people are pouring effort into the wrong buckets. They're building castles in sand, not systems on rock. The rich figured this out early. They realize that if their presence is required for income, they're still a servant, just with nicer clothes. So how do you escape that trap? You have to get uncomfortable. You have to let go of the badge of honor that says, I work harder than everyone else. Because wealth doesn't reward effort, it rewards alignment. The alignment of value, timing, systems, and distribution. The rich don't get rich by accident. They engineer their lives so that every action has a compounding effect. Let's talk about compounding. We often think of it only in the financial sense, but compounding applies to your habits, your systems, your network, and your mindset. If you create one leveraged product, it might make a few sales. But if you create one every month for a year, and each is automated, now you have an ecosystem. That's compound leverage. And when you combine that with consistent learning, relationship building, and intentional automation, you unlock what feels like magic. But it's not magic. It's math. It's systems. Another thing the rich do differently, they treat money like a tool, not a trophy. Most people chase money to spend. The wealthy chase money to multiply. They don't ask, what can I buy with this? They ask, what can this fund that will make me more? That's why their wealth accelerates while others stay stuck. And it all loops back to one core principle, separation of time from income. If you're still thinking, but I need a big audience or I'm not tech savvy, understand this. Leverage isn't about being a genius. It's about being willing to think differently, to experiment, to build once instead of perform daily. And the sooner you begin, even if imperfectly, the sooner you step into the kind of life most people only dream of. Because once you taste income that doesn't require your presence, everything changes. You never go back. Subscribe now for the strategies, mindset shifts, and real-world frameworks that the rich use to escape the time for money trap and start building unstoppable leverage today.